Chosen one. Pause for a moment. Just for a moment. Allow yourself to step out of the hurried pace of life, to detach from the endless noise that surrounds you, and open your heart to the divine whisper that is meant for you alone. Heaven itself has leaned in, not only to listen but to speak directly into your spirit. Every sound that typically fills the air, the hum of your daily thoughts, the distractions of the world, and the chaos that comes with being human, has quieted. It has been silenced so that this message, this sacred invitation, can reach you, unbroken and undisturbed. In this moment, you are being called. Not just in the sense of a casual invitation, but in the deep, intentional way that heaven calls those it has set apart for divine purposes. This is not a random call, it is personal, precise, and timely. And it is yours. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to recognize the significance of this moment. It may seem like just another moment in the rhythm of your life, but I assure you, it is much more. Heaven is making a deliberate move towards you, asking you to pause, to reflect, and to listen. It's a divine invitation to separate yourself, even if momentarily, from the noise of the world, from the struggles that have consumed your thoughts, from the burdens that have weighed heavy on your soul. This is your moment to step aside and embrace the calling that is uniquely yours. You have been chosen to hear this message, chosen for this moment, and heaven's attention is fully directed at you. The invitation is extended not as a passing whisper but as a declaration that something monumental is unfolding in your life. You may have felt lost, uncertain, or even abandoned at times, but now, in the quiet of this divine summons, you are about to understand that your struggles, your pain, and your perseverance have been noted in the courts of heaven. Now, as the invitation settles into your spirit, let's reflect on the journey that has led you to this very moment. You are no stranger to struggle. In fact, the trials you faced, the battles you fought, and the pain you've endured have been much more than mere obstacles, they have been the forge in which your divine purpose has been refined. The road that has brought you here has been filled with unseen battles, those moments of inner turmoil that only you truly understand. Others may not have seen your struggles. They may not have noticed the quiet tears you shed when no one was looking, or the times you smiled through the pain, pretending everything was fine when, deep inside, you were fighting just to keep going. But heaven saw. Heaven noticed every silent cry, every moment of despair, and every prayer whispered through clenched teeth. What others didn't see, God recorded. Every time you wanted to give up, every moment you thought you could not go on, God was watching, acknowledging, and honoring your perseverance. The battle was never for nothing. The suffering was never in vain. Even when you could not see a way forward, God was using every trial, every tear, and every struggle to shape you into the person you were meant to be. The storms you've weathered have not broken you, they've built you. And more importantly, they've prepared you for the divine calling that is now unfolding in front of you. You may have questioned why the battle seemed never-ending. You may have wondered why others seemed to find peace so easily while you struggled just to catch your breath. It might have felt like you were walking through life alone, with no one fully understanding the weight of what you were carrying. But God, in His infinite wisdom, was watching, guiding, and preparing you for this very moment. The angels have been with you, witnessing your every step, and heaven has been recording your journey with reverence. What you perceived as the hardest moments of your life were actually the most sacred. Those moments of fear, doubt, and exhaustion were the very moments that strengthened your spirit and built the foundation for your divine purpose. Heaven knew that you could endure. Heaven knew that you were strong enough to rise from every setback, and that is why this moment has come. You are not where you are by accident. Every step, every hardship, every silent prayer has been leading you here, to this moment of divine recognition. The very moments you thought were your lowest have become the proof of your divine strength. The enemy thought he could break you, but what he failed to realize is that your perseverance was not born of your own strength, it was born of divine power working through your weakness. You have been held by the hands of heaven every step of the way, and now it's time for you to recognize that your endurance, your faith, and your strength are not just about surviving. They are about preparing you to walk boldly in the divine purpose that God has had for you all along. Now, after all that you've been through, God is smiling over you. Not because you are perfect, not because you have it all together, but because of the one thing that no one else could see, your refusal to quit. You kept going. When the road was dark, when your heart felt heavy, when the world seemed to turn its back on you, you kept going. You chose to keep praying when it seemed like God wasn't listening. You chose to keep trusting when it felt like your trust had been betrayed. God is smiling over you, not because you never doubted or never struggled, but because you did struggle and you did doubt, and still, you pressed forward. The divine smile is not reserved for the perfect. It is reserved for those who endure with faith, who carry their burdens with grace, and who refuse to let go of the hope that heaven is with them, even in the hardest of times. This is the moment where heaven takes notice of your endurance. You might have thought you were walking in the shadow of defeat, but God has been documenting your every move. Every tear you've cried, every moment of heartache you've faced, every ounce of strength you've summoned to keep going, it has all been counted in heaven's archives. And now, the shift is happening. The spiritual realm has turned its eyes toward you, and God is smiling. His smile is not just a gesture, it is a declaration. It is the declaration that you have endured and that your endurance has not gone unnoticed. It is the declaration that you have been faithful, and now, the time has come for you to walk in the purpose that has always been yours. The battle is over. The waiting is done. The divine purpose for your life is unfolding now, and it begins with heaven's smile. God's smile is not just a sign of favor, it is a confirmation that you are ready. You are ready to step into the divine calling that has been waiting for you. You are ready to rise up and take your place in the kingdom, to walk boldly into the destiny that has been unfolding behind the scenes. Heaven is not smiling because of your perfection, it is smiling because of your faith. It is smiling because you did not give up. It is smiling because you are now prepared to walk in the fullness of who you were created to be. This is not just a moment of recognition, it is a moment of divine empowerment. God's smile is the sign that the battle has been won, that the darkness has been defeated, and that you are now stepping into the light of divine purpose. The heavens are rejoicing over you, not because of your perfection, but because of your perseverance. And now, it's time for you to embrace the calling that heaven has always had for you. In this sacred moment, know that your journey has been seen. Every hardship, every trial, every moment of doubt has been recorded in heaven. And now, God's smile is a testimony to the fact that you have endured, and you have triumphed. The battle is won, and you are about to walk into the fulfillment of your divine purpose. As you reflect on your journey, the battles fought, the wounds incurred, the days when it seemed like you couldn't take another step, it becomes clear that the story you've lived is far more than just a series of unfortunate events. It's a powerful testimony of perseverance. A story not of how you stumbled, but of how you rose again, stronger each time. You have walked through fires, endured storms, and faced the kind of battles that would have broken others. Yet here you stand. Not only have you survived, but you have been refined, transformed, and made more resilient than you could have ever imagined. This is the testimony that speaks of divine endurance, a testimony that will echo in the realms of heaven and earth. Every hardship you faced, every moment of rejection and despair, was never in vain. When others looked at you and saw only struggle, heaven saw something different. Heaven saw a warrior, a soul unwilling to give up. When you felt alone, when the weight of the world seemed too heavy to bear, heaven's eyes were fixed on you. The angels recorded every sigh, every tear, and every moment of silent struggle that no one else saw. Every step you took through the darkness, every time you chose to keep going, even when you didn't know how you would, was noted by heaven as a testament to your strength and faith. You were not forgotten in your pain. You were not abandoned when life seemed to overwhelm you. In fact, your endurance became a silent witness to the power of God's grace in your life. You didn't just endure, you persevered, and in that perseverance lies the strength of your testimony. You may have felt like no one was watching as you fought your internal battles, but heaven was always present, always aware, always cherishing each moment of your struggle. The endurance you displayed through adversity is the message that heaven is sharing with the world, the message that no matter how deep the valley, the divine strength within you will carry you through. The struggles you faced were not mere obstacles, they were part of the shaping process. Your endurance has now become your testimony, your witness to the world that no battle fought in faith ever ends in defeat. You have emerged stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the divine purpose that is now unfolding in your life. The scars you bear, the pain you have endured, have been transformed into a testimony of survival, a declaration of your strength. It's time to change the way you see your scars. The world may look at them and see weakness or defeat. The enemy may try to convince you that the marks of pain and suffering are something to hide, to be ashamed of, but heaven sees them differently. Your scars are not symbols of shame, they are the signatures of survival. They are the marks that testify to the battles you've fought and the victories you've won. Every scar on your heart and soul tells the story of your resilience, your ability to rise, no matter how many times life knocked you down. The scars that you carry, the wounds that were once open and raw, have been transformed into beautiful testaments of your faith and strength. What was once painful is now a part of your glory. They are not marks of defeat, they are proof that you fought, that you endured, and that you overcame. Each scar is a reminder of how far you've come, of the strength you never knew you had until you were tested. They are your battle wounds, yes, but they are also the symbols of the power that flows through you. The enemy tried to convince you that you were broken, that your scars defined your limitations. But what he failed to realize is that every time you rose from the ashes, every time you continued to believe even when belief seemed impossible, you were becoming a living testimony to the power of God's redemption. Your scars have been marked by divine love, and in each one, there is a story of grace and transformation. What was once a place of injury is now a place of power. Your scars have become the proof of your divine resilience, and they are now the very things that will draw others to the light of Christ. You might look in the mirror and see the traces of all that you've been through, the tears, the heartbreak, the rejection, the doubts, but let me tell you, beloved, what heaven sees is far different. Heaven sees a warrior, a survivor, a vessel of God's grace, who was never defined by their scars but rather by their ability to keep moving forward. Your scars are a declaration that you are a conqueror, that the enemy's attempts to destroy you have been in vain, and that God's victory over your life is now shining brightly for the world to see. The enemy has worked tirelessly to try and make you believe that your pain, your suffering, and your scars are signs of defeat. He has whispered lies to you, telling you that God has forgotten you, that your pain has been pointless, and that you will never see the fulfillment of the promises God has spoken over your life. Through disappointment, betrayal, and delay, the enemy has sought to weaken your faith, to convince you that you are unworthy, unqualified, and forgotten. He has tried to make you feel invisible in your pain, like no one could possibly understand the depth of your struggles. But I want to remind you today, the enemy's lies have no power over you. The truth is, you were never forgotten. You were never abandoned. Heaven has always seen you, and it has always been at work in the unseen, preparing you for this moment. Every challenge you faced, every moment of doubt and fear, was part of a greater plan, a plan that the enemy could not defeat. Heaven has been working behind the scenes, orchestrating divine interventions, and positioning you for victory. The enemy thought that if he could just break your spirit, he would win. He thought that if he could just cause you enough pain and confusion, you would give up on God's promises. But what he failed to understand is that your pain was not a sign of God's absence, it was a sign of God's nearness. Every time you were on the verge of giving up, heaven stepped in, reminding you that you were not alone, that God was with you in the struggle, in the silence, and in the pain. The enemy tried to make you doubt your worth and your calling, but heaven has always been confirming it. Despite every lie, despite every attack on your faith, you kept going. You kept praying, you kept believing, and you kept trusting, even when it felt like your faith was hanging by a thread. Your tears became your intercession. Each tear that fell from your eyes was not a sign of defeat, it was a prayer reaching heaven, a cry that God heard, a plea that the enemy could not silence. You continued to believe, even when your circumstances screamed otherwise. And it is that unwavering faith, that unshakable trust, that has now positioned you for a divine victory. Heaven has watched over every moment of your struggle, and God is smiling upon you, not because of your perfection, but because of your faithfulness. His victory over the enemy is now being made manifest in your life. The enemy tried to make you believe that God had abandoned you, but in truth, God was always with you, strengthening you, sustaining you, and preparing you for the victory that is now unfolding before you. Now, after all you have been through, heaven is smiling upon you. Not because you are perfect, but because you refuse to quit. Heaven is not looking at you with judgment or condemnation, it is looking at you with love, joy, and pride. God is smiling over you because of your perseverance. Every moment of hardship, every tear you shed, every time you chose to keep going when you could have given up, has been recorded in heaven's archives. Heaven is not only celebrating your endurance but also rejoicing in the fact that you never gave up on the promises of God, even when you couldn't see them. This smile is not a casual smile, it is a divine affirmation. It is the acknowledgement that your struggle has not been in vain, that every moment of suffering has been used by heaven to prepare you for the victory that is now being released. You have fought long and hard, and now, as you stand in this moment of divine victory, heaven is smiling upon you, not because you are perfect, but because you have endured. God's smile is a sign of favor, a sign of divine approval. It is the divine recognition of your faithfulness and endurance. The battles that once seemed to stretch on endlessly have been won. The enemy's lies have been silenced, and now heaven is shining its light upon you. The victory you have longed for is here. God is not just smiling in approval of your survival, He is smiling in joy because of your transformation. You have been shaped through your struggles, refined through your pain, and now, you are walking in the fullness of God's divine purpose. This smile is not just a reflection of your past, it is a promise for your future. Heaven's smile is the seal of approval on the divine calling that is unfolding in your life. It is a sign that the season of preparation is over, and the season of fulfillment is beginning. The journey that once seemed uncertain, the battles that once felt endless, have now led you to this moment of divine alignment. Heaven is celebrating not just your survival, but your victory, your perseverance, and your transformation. The battle has been won, chosen one. Heaven has seen your endurance, and now, it is smiling upon you, proud of your faith, and ready to see you step into the fullness of your divine purpose. The enemy has been defeated, and God's joy over you is now being poured out in abundance. You are no longer walking through the shadows of struggle, you are stepping into the light of victory, and heaven is rejoicing in your triumph. The life you've lived up until this point is not a random collection of events. Every trial you've faced, every battle you've fought, every tear you've shed, none of it was without purpose. You might have felt like you were walking alone, struggling through seasons of pain and doubt, but heaven was always recording your journey. Each moment of endurance, every ounce of strength you summoned in your most trying times, has been carefully noted by heaven, not as a sign of punishment, but as evidence of divine preparation. You may have questioned why the struggle seemed endless. Why did it feel like the pain never ceased, or why the obstacles you faced were so formidable? Yet, today, as you look back on those moments, it becomes clear that every difficulty was not designed to break you, but to refine you. Every challenge you faced was carefully orchestrated, not by the hand of the enemy, but by the hand of a loving and purposeful God. You were being shaped, honed, and prepared for something far greater than you could have imagined at the time. Heaven's eyes were always on you. In the quiet moments when you felt like giving up, when your heart ached with disappointment, and when your strength seemed to fail you, heaven was watching. But not only was heaven watching, it was investing in you. Your perseverance was not a sign of weakness, it was proof of the strength and divine purpose that lay within you. God was not allowing you to suffer aimlessly, He was investing in your growth, your character, and your ability to carry the weight of the calling that He has placed upon your life. Think of it like an artist working tirelessly on a masterpiece. The brushstrokes might appear erratic, the process might seem painful, and at times the artist might seem distant, but every touch of the brush is essential to creating something magnificent. Heaven has been working on you, carefully crafting your spirit, your resilience, and your faith, until you are a work of divine art, ready to fulfill the purpose that was destined for you from the beginning of time. You are not an accident. You are a masterpiece, molded and shaped through every trial, every hardship, and every moment of struggle you have endured. What you've experienced has not been in vain. The tears you've cried, the moments you thought you couldn't go on, each of these has played a vital role in shaping you into the person you are today. God has been cultivating your strength, your faith, and your resolve so that you can step into the fullness of the divine purpose that He has prepared for you. Heaven's investment in you is not just about getting through the tough times, it's about the transformation that has occurred in your soul. You are now ready to step into your calling with the wisdom, strength, and grace that you have gained through your endurance. Every hardship has been preparing you to carry the weight of your purpose. You are no longer the same person who entered this journey. You have been refined, purified, and transformed into someone who can now stand firm in the fullness of what God has called you to do. You may have felt like you were stuck in a never-ending cycle of hardship, but know this, a shift has already begun. The divine work that has been taking place in the spiritual realm is now manifesting in your life. Heaven is declaring that the time of preparation is over, and now is the time for you to step into your divine purpose with confidence and authority. The spiritual realm has taken notice of your perseverance. Angels have watched as you have fought in silence, endured in faith, and stood firm even when the weight of your circumstances felt unbearable. And now, heaven is celebrating your endurance. A divine shift is taking place, and God's favor is being poured out upon you in a way you've never experienced before. You are no longer in the season of preparation, you are now stepping into the season of divine purpose. God's favor is not just a passive blessing. It is a powerful force that shifts the trajectory of your life. Heaven is aligning the circumstances around you to bring about the fulfillment of the promises God has spoken over your life. This shift is not just external, it is internal as well. You are stepping into a new identity, one that is fully aligned with the divine purpose that has always been yours. You might not see all the changes happening in the natural realm just yet, but in the spiritual realm, things have already shifted. The angels are now moving on your behalf, clearing the path before you, and preparing the way for your divine purpose to be fulfilled. The battles you fought and the struggles you endured have equipped you for this very moment. And heaven is declaring that you are ready to step into the fullness of what God has prepared for you. This shift is the beginning of something new. It is the divine moment when all that you've endured will now be used to propel you forward into your calling. Heaven has recognized your faithfulness, and now it is time for you to walk in the favor and authority that comes with that faithfulness. God's smile over your life is not just a momentary expression, it is a sign of the divine favor that is now upon you. The time of testing is over. The time of fulfillment has come. God's promise to you is not just a passing hope. It is a firm, unshakable declaration that is affirmed in Scripture. Isaiah 41 verse 10 says, "Fear not, for I am with you, be not dismayed, for I am your God, I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This promise is not just a comforting word, it is a guarantee from God Himself. Heaven has seen your endurance, your struggles, and your faithfulness. Now, God is affirming that He is with you, that He will strengthen you, and that He will help you. The same God who has walked with you through the valley is now empowering you to rise and walk in the fullness of your purpose. This scripture is a divine reminder that you are never alone in your struggles. God is with you every step of the way, providing strength when you feel weak, offering help when you are overwhelmed, and upholding you with His righteous right hand. His favor is upon you, and with it comes the strength and support you need to move forward into your calling. You are not walking in this journey by your own power, you are walking in the power of God's promise. The promise of Isaiah 41 verse 10 is a promise that has been specifically tailored for you. God knew the trials you would face. He knew the weight of the struggles you would endure. And he also knew that you would rise through them, stronger and more determined to fulfill his purpose. This is why he has promised to strengthen you, to help you, and to uphold you. His hand of favor is upon you, and there is no obstacle, no enemy, no force in this world that can prevent you from stepping into the purpose that has been set before you. You are not here by chance. Every battle you fought, every tear you shed, every time you picked yourself up after falling, has brought you to this moment. But the victory you now stand in is not just about survival, it is about transformation. You are no longer the same person you were when you first began this journey. You have been transformed. The struggles you faced did not break you, they refined you. The battles you fought did not defeat you, they empowered you. The victory is not just about making it through the storm, it is about becoming someone who can now carry the light and power of God's purpose in the world. Every hardship you endured has shaped you into someone who is now capable of walking in divine authority. You are not just surviving, you are thriving. You are no longer defined by your struggles. You are defined by the strength that has been birthed through those struggles. This transformation is not just an external change, it is an internal shift. You are walking in divine power now, a power that has been cultivated through every moment of endurance, every step of faith, and every act of obedience. Your trials have prepared you to walk boldly in your divine purpose, and now that purpose is unfolding before you. Heaven has been preparing you for this moment, and now you are ready to step into the fullness of all that God has planned for your life. The transformation that has occurred in you is not just for your benefit, it is for the benefit of those around you. Your victory is a testimony to the world that faith in God can bring victory over any circumstance. You have become living proof that no battle fought in faith ever ends in loss. The scars you bear are not marks of shame, they are the evidence of God's victory in your life. They are the reminders that no matter how difficult the journey, God's purpose will always prevail. You are no longer the same person who entered this journey. You have been refined, tested, and transformed. And now, you are ready to walk in the fullness of your divine calling. The victory is not just about survival, it is about the transformation of your entire being. You are a new creation, empowered to carry out the divine purpose that has always been yours. As you stand at the threshold of this new season, remember that every battle you faced, every struggle you endured, has brought you to this moment. You are now walking in the fullness of the divine purpose that has been written for you. Heaven has declared that you are ready, and with that declaration comes the divine favor, strength, and support you need to move forward with confidence. Your victory is not just about surviving the trials, it is about stepping into your divine purpose and fulfilling the calling that has always been yours. You are no longer defined by your struggles, you are defined by the power of God's transformation in your life. And now, you are ready to carry that power into the world. You have fought valiantly, you have endured far more than you ever thought you could, and now, beloved, it is time to acknowledge the truth, the battle is over. Not just the battle with the enemy, but the battle within you, the inner struggles, the doubts, the fears, and the uncertainties. They have all been vanquished. You may not see it yet in its fullness, but every ounce of resistance, every force that sought to undermine your purpose, has been defeated. The enemy's plans against you, the whispers that attempted to derail your faith, the lies that tried to invade your thoughts, all of them have been foiled. What the enemy didn't realize is that every attack on your life only served to build you, to strengthen you, to refine you into the person you were always meant to be. The very things that he used to try to destroy you are now the stepping stones upon which you will stand tall. The very battles he thought would break you have become the evidence of God's power at work in your life. What was meant to harm you has only served to propel you into your divine purpose. It's important that you understand this. The victory is not just about surviving. It is about transformation. You have been changed through every trial, and that change is not a superficial one, it's deep, lasting, and divine. You are emerging from the fire not just unscathed, but renewed. You are stronger, wiser, and more equipped to fulfill your purpose than you ever were before the battle began. The enemy's plans have not only failed, but they have paved the way for your advancement. The enemy thought he could break you by piling on the pressure. He thought that by attacking your faith, your relationships, your peace, he could crush your spirit. But he underestimated something profound: your divine resilience. The more he pressed, the more you stood. And in standing, you revealed your true strength, not your own, but the strength that comes from heaven. Now, as you stand at the threshold of this new season, you are no longer the person who entered the battle. You are someone different, someone more powerful, more capable, and more aligned with your divine calling. This victory isn't just over the enemy, it's a victory over all the forces that have ever tried to keep you from stepping into the fullness of your purpose. Now that the battle has been won, it's time for restoration. This is where your story shifts from surviving to thriving, from enduring to flourishing. The enemy's attacks may have left you weary, but heaven has come to restore all that was lost, to renew what was broken, and to empower you to walk forward in strength and purpose. What the enemy tried to use for destruction, God is now using for divine renewal. This is a season of divine restoration. The wounds you carry from the battle are not signs of weakness, they are signs of healing. Every scar, every painful memory, every tear you shed during the storm is now being turned into a testimony of God's redemptive power. Restoration is not just about repairing what was damaged, it's about bringing you back stronger, wiser, and more aligned with the divine purpose for which you were created. You are no longer just the person you were before the battle, you are someone refined, someone empowered, someone ready to step into the next phase of your divine assignment. Think about this: the things that hurt you, the things that seemed impossible to overcome, have now become the very things that have built you into a stronger person. Your capacity to endure has expanded, your faith has deepened, and your trust in God has been solidified. Heaven is not just healing the wounds from the battle, it's using those wounds as the soil in which your purpose will grow. The enemy wanted to break you, but what he failed to realize is that God was always preparing you for something greater. In this season of restoration, God is not only healing your wounds but filling you with His strength. The fatigue you feel will be replaced by divine energy, the emptiness will be filled with His presence, and the despair will be transformed into hope. You are not just recovering from the battle, you are being renewed for the greater work ahead. Your soul is being restored to its rightful place, where you can walk in the fullness of the divine calling on your life. This restoration is not just for you, it's for the world around you. As you are renewed, so too will the people around you feel the impact. You will become a beacon of God's restorative power, shining with the light of one who has been through the fire and come out stronger. Your testimony of restoration will be a sign to others that their healing is also possible. You have been transformed so that you can now help transform others. The victory is not just for you, it is a victory for everyone who is watching, who is waiting for their own breakthrough. As the restoration takes place, it becomes clear that this is not just a time of personal healing, it is a time of divine favor. Heaven is not only pleased with your survival, it is rejoicing in your transformation. God is not just smiling over the fact that you endured, He is celebrating the fact that you have been refined, that you have become a vessel of His power and grace. This is where favor and transformation collide. The favor of God is not a vague concept. It is a real, tangible force that moves in your life. It is the divine hand that opens doors, that shifts circumstances, that empowers you to walk in your calling with strength and grace. Favor is not based on your perfection, your performance, or your worthiness. It is based on God's love for you, His desire to see you succeed, and His intention to use you to fulfill His greater purpose. In this season, you are about to experience God's favor like never before. The doors that once seemed closed are now opening. The opportunities that seemed impossible are now becoming possible. You are stepping into a season where divine favor will flow freely in your life, not because you earned it, but because it is part of your inheritance as a child of God. Heaven is acknowledging your perseverance, and now it is time for you to walk in the fullness of the divine favor that has been prepared for you. The favor of God is not just about receiving blessings, it's about walking in the divine purpose for your life. As you move forward, Heaven is aligning everything around you to support your journey. The favor that you experience will not only impact your life, it will overflow into the lives of those around you. The favor of God will open doors that will allow you to fulfill your calling, to step into your divine assignment, and to become the person you were always meant to be. Favor is the divine empowerment that allows you to accomplish things beyond your own strength. It is the wind beneath your wings that lifts you higher, that takes you further than you ever thought possible. And in this season, you will experience that favor in abundance. You are being positioned to walk in the fullness of everything God has for you, and His favor is going to take you there. When you think of God's favor, think of His smile. Not the distant, disapproving look of a taskmaster, but the smile of a loving Father who delights in you. God is smiling over you, not because of your perfection, but because of your perseverance. Heaven is celebrating your victory, and that celebration is seen in the divine smile of God. This smile is not a fleeting moment. It is the affirmation of divine favor. The smile of God is the visible sign that heaven is pleased with you. It is the recognition of the endurance you've shown, the strength you've demonstrated, and the faith you've kept, even when the road was rough. When God smiles upon you, it's a declaration of His approval, His love, and His joy over your life. His smile is not contingent on your performance. It is not based on what you've done or haven't done. It is based on His love for you, His delight in seeing you walk in your purpose, and His joy in watching you rise from every challenge stronger than before. That smile is the sign that you are entering a new season, a season where the battle is over, and the favor of God is being poured out on you in abundance. When God smiles upon you, the heavens themselves celebrate. The angels rejoice because they see the fruit of your endurance. They have witnessed every tear, every prayer, every act of obedience, and now they see the fulfillment of God's promise over your life. The smile of God is a sign of divine approval, a sign that you are walking in alignment with His will, and a sign that your purpose is unfolding in ways you've never imagined. In this season, know that you are walking under heaven's smile. That smile is not just a symbol, it is a sign of favor, of divine alignment, and of God's joy over your life. As you step into this new chapter, remember that God is smiling over you, and that smile will carry you through every challenge, every opportunity, and every moment of divine purpose. As you reflect on the journey you've taken, on the battles you've fought, the struggles you've overcome, and the trials that have shaped you, you realize that what the enemy intended to break you has actually built you into the person you are today. The battle that seemed so overwhelming, so impossible to win, has not only been won, but it has been used by heaven to shape you, to refine you, and to prepare you for the divine purpose that lies ahead. The enemy thought he could destroy your faith, your hope, your future, but what he failed to realize is that every attack, every assault on your spirit, only served to refine you, to make you stronger, and to prepare you for the greater work God has planned for you. You are not the same person you were when you first entered the battle. You have been shaped, transformed, and equipped for the divine calling that awaits you. What the enemy intended for evil, God has used for good. The struggles that you once thought would destroy you have become the very things that have made you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the purpose that God has for your life. You are now a vessel of divine power, a testimony of God's grace, and a living example of the victory that comes from enduring faith. As you stand in this season of victory, remember that the battle was not just about surviving. It was about transforming you into the person you needed to be to fulfill your divine calling. You are not the victim of your circumstances, you are the victor. And now, with God's favor upon you, you are ready to step into the fullness of your purpose. As you reflect on the journey that brought you here, remember that the victory is not just the absence of battle, it is the transformation that comes through overcoming. You have fought, you have endured, and now you are stepping into the divine purpose that was always meant to be yours. God's smile is the sign that the battle is over, and heaven's favor is now upon you. The enemy has been defeated, and the victory is yours to claim. At the very heart of your spiritual journey, there comes a moment, this moment, where heaven calls you to a decision, a conscious choice that will set the course of your life on a path of divine alignment and purpose. Until now, you have endured the trials, faced the battles, and walked through the fire. You have persevered, you have overcome, and now, heaven stands before you with an invitation. This invitation is not passive. It requires an active, conscious decision on your part to step into the fullness of your calling, to say yes to the divine purpose that has been unfolding in your life since before you were born. The time of waiting, the time of endurance, has led you to this sacred moment. Heaven has aligned the stars, orchestrated the events, and carefully shaped your journey to bring you here. But the next step is yours. You are being asked to make a conscious, intentional choice, to align your will with God's, to fully embrace the divine purpose He has for your life. The choice to say yes to God's call is not just a fleeting decision, but a pivotal moment that has the power to change everything. This is not a casual invitation. It is a divine summons. You have been chosen, handpicked, and set apart for something greater. And now, the time has come for you to step forward and claim what has always been yours. Heaven is calling you to enter into agreement with its plan for your life. This agreement is a sacred covenant, a commitment that you make to walk in alignment with God's will, to step into the fullness of His divine purpose, and to embrace the destiny He has prepared for you. It is not enough to simply wait for life to unfold. You must choose to align yourself with Heaven's plan, to actively walk in the path that has been set before you. In this moment, you stand at the threshold of your divine calling. The question is, will you step forward? Will you say yes to God's purpose, knowing that the journey ahead will require your whole heart, your complete trust, and your unwavering faith? This is not just about saying yes to a calling, it is about fully surrendering to the process of transformation that lies ahead. Heaven has a purpose for you, and it's time to embrace it. The covenant you are being invited into is one that will require your participation. It's not enough to simply acknowledge God's will for your life, you must choose to walk in it, to step into it with faith and obedience. This is the moment to declare that you are ready, that you are willing, and that you are prepared to walk boldly into the future God has prepared for you. Your decision to say yes will not only change the course of your life but will activate the divine power that is already at work in you. The act of saying yes to God's purpose is a declaration of faith, a faith that acknowledges God's sovereignty over your life, that trusts in His plan, and that steps forward in confidence, knowing that He has already equipped you for what lies ahead. This declaration is not just a verbal affirmation, it is a deep, internal commitment to walk in the fullness of God's calling, to trust Him with every part of your being, and to allow His purpose to unfold in your life. Saying yes is an act of surrender. It's saying, I choose to trust you, God, with my life. I choose to step into the destiny you have written for me. I choose to walk in alignment with your will, knowing that you will guide every step, provide every need, and empower me to fulfill the purpose you have prepared for me. This is the moment when you choose to move forward, not by your own strength, but by the strength of God's power working through you. Your yes is an invitation to step into divine alignment. It is the acknowledgement that you are no longer living for your own desires or ambitions, but for the fulfillment of God's will. It is a powerful declaration that you are ready to walk in the calling that has been placed on your life, no matter how challenging, no matter how unknown the path may seem. In saying yes, you are agreeing with God's plan for your life, acknowledging that His timing, His purposes, and His will are greater than anything you could have imagined for yourself. It is the moment when you choose to fully trust in God's sovereignty and embrace the divine destiny that is unfolding before you. This yes is the key that unlocks your divine potential. When you say yes to God's purpose, you open the door to a life filled with divine favor, empowerment, and fulfillment. Your yes becomes the catalyst for transformation, the moment when Heaven's power moves in your life in ways you've never experienced before. Now, as a physical sign of your decision, you are invited to take a symbolic action. The act of typing 777 is not just a random act, it is a powerful declaration of your faith. It is a physical expression of your internal agreement to align yourself with Heaven's plan, to step forward in divine purpose, and to walk in the fullness of God's calling. Why 777? The number 7 is deeply significant in the Bible. It symbolizes divine completion, perfection, and the fullness of God's will. When you type 777, you are declaring that you are aligning yourself with God's perfect will, that you are stepping into the divine alignment He has for your life. It is a declaration that you are no longer walking in your own strength, but in the strength of God's purpose, that you are walking in divine completeness, fully surrendered to His plan. By typing 777, you are sealing your covenant with heaven. You are making a visible declaration that you are ready to walk in divine alignment, that you are choosing to step into the life God has prepared for you. This simple act is not just a gesture, it is a powerful declaration that you are walking in agreement with God's will for your life, and you are ready to see His plan unfold. This symbolic action activates your faith. It is a physical act that mirrors the internal decision you've made to say yes to God's purpose. As you type 777, you are stepping into a new chapter, a new season of divine alignment, and a new chapter in the journey that heaven has prepared for you. This act is your yes in action, a sign to the universe, to heaven, and to yourself that you are ready to walk in your calling. Obedience is the key to walking in the fullness of your divine calling. When you say yes to God's purpose, you are not just agreeing with His plan, you are committing to live in alignment with it. Obedience is not passive, it is active. It is the willingness to step forward in faith, to trust God with every decision, and to follow His lead, even when the path is unclear. Your obedience is the confirmation that you are in covenant with heaven, that you are in alignment with the divine purpose that has been written for your life. Every step you take in obedience draws you closer to the fulfillment of that purpose. Obedience is the vehicle that allows God's power to flow through you, empowering you to walk in the fullness of your calling. It is through obedience that the promises of God are unlocked in your life. The act of typing 777 is an act of obedience. It is a visible declaration that you are ready to align your life with God's will, to walk in His purpose, and to trust Him with every part of your being. This act is the beginning of your transformation, the first step in a journey that will require your obedience every step of the way. The angels are standing beside you, watching in reverence as you make this covenant with heaven. They know the power of obedience. They understand that your obedience is what will unlock the doors to your destiny, and they are there to guide you every step of the way. As you walk in obedience, the angels will walk with you, helping you to fulfill the divine purpose that has been set before you. As you step into this divine agreement, know that you are not walking alone. The angels, sent by heaven to guide and protect you, are walking with you. One angel carries fire, the fire of purification that burns away the old, the negative, and the harmful aspects of your life. This fire is not here to destroy you, it is here to refine you, to purify your spirit, and to remove anything that stands in the way of your divine purpose. The fire of purification is the refining process that prepares you to walk in your full calling. The second angel brings light, the light of healing, guidance, and protection. This angel's light will illuminate your path, showing you the way forward and giving you the wisdom you need to make decisions aligned with God's will. This light also brings healing to your heart and soul, soothing the wounds of the past and restoring you to the fullness of divine health. The angels are here not only to protect you but to guide you through the process of transformation. They are here to help you shed the old, to purify your heart, and to lead you into the life that God has prepared for you. Every step you take in obedience is a step toward the transformation that God has designed for you. The angels will be your guides, walking beside you, offering their support and wisdom as you step into your divine calling. Obedience is not just an action, it is the key to unlocking the transformation that God has prepared for you. When you step forward in obedience, you activate the power of God's purpose in your life. Your yes is the beginning of a journey that will require your full cooperation with heaven's plan. The angels are here to guide you through this process of transformation, but it is your obedience that will allow the transformation to take place. Each step of obedience brings you closer to your divine destiny. It is through obedience that you are aligned with the divine will, that you are able to fulfill the purpose God has for your life. Every time you choose to trust God, to follow His guidance, and to walk in His plan, you are moving further into the fullness of your calling. The angels are with you every step of the way, ready to support you as you continue to walk in divine obedience. Obedience is the bridge that connects you to your divine destiny. It is the path that will take you from where you are now to where God has called you to be. And with each step, the angels will be there to guide you, to help you, and to ensure that you are walking in alignment with heaven's purpose. Your obedience is not just about fulfilling a task, it is about walking in the fullness of who you were always meant to be. There comes a time in every life, after the storms have passed, after the long season of struggle and pain, when the divine purpose begins to unfold with such clarity that it becomes impossible to ignore. And, beloved, that time is now for you. You have been rescued, yes, but your journey has only just begun. The divine intervention that saved you is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter in which you are no longer merely surviving but stepping into your calling, your divine purpose. This is a crucial moment in your spiritual journey. You are transitioning from being rescued into being commissioned. You are being called to rise from the ashes of your trials, not as someone simply thankful for their survival, but as someone equipped, empowered, and sent to fulfill a greater purpose. The struggles you faced, the heartaches you endured, and the prayers you whispered through your tears, these were never meant to define you as a victim. They were meant to shape you into someone capable of carrying the light of God into the world, of stepping into the role that heaven has been preparing for you all along. The time of waiting is over. The time of preparation is complete. You have endured, you have persevered, and now, the time has come for you to act. God's hand has been upon you, guiding you through every storm, and now He is calling you to rise and step into the fullness of your divine assignment. The world needs the light you carry. The purpose you were born to fulfill is now ready to be brought into existence. It is time to take action, to step forward with confidence, and to walk in the calling that has always been yours. In this new chapter, you are no longer the person who was struggling to survive. You are no longer the person who was fighting against the tide of life, trying to keep your head above water. You are now stepping into your divine calling, walking in the authority that has always been yours by right. The angels are standing beside you, guiding you, and heaven is smiling down upon you, ready to release you into the fullness of your purpose. This is a time of commissioning, a time to take up your divine mantle and walk boldly into the role that God has set aside for you. Heaven's plan for you has always been to carry light into the darkness, to bring healing to brokenness, and to be a vessel of His power and grace. The season of trial and struggle was part of the preparation for what is ahead, but now, you are entering into your commissioning. The work you have been called to do is waiting for you. Your journey from rescue to commission has already begun. It is one thing to be rescued. It is another thing entirely to be commissioned. Being rescued is the moment when God's grace steps in and lifts you from the depths of despair. But being commissioned is the moment when God's purpose for your life begins to take shape and move forward. You have been saved, but now, you are being sent. You are not just a survivor of the storm, you are now an active participant in the divine plan. God has called you for such a time as this. Your purpose is not merely to exist, but to carry the light of God into the world. You have been chosen to bring hope, healing, and transformation to a world that desperately needs it. This is your calling, to step into the divine role you have been prepared for, to walk in the power and authority that has been granted to you. You have been equipped for this moment. Every hardship you've endured, every challenge you've faced, has been part of God's plan to prepare you for the work ahead. The trials were not in vain. They were shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you to carry out the divine mission God has set before you. You have been through the fire, and now you are emerging as someone who can carry the light of God into the darkest corners of the earth. This is not a time to sit back and wait for things to happen. This is a time to rise up and take action. Heaven is calling you to move forward, to step into your divine assignment, and to begin walking in the fullness of your calling. The angels are standing beside you, guiding you every step of the way, but the action is yours to take. God has already equipped you with everything you need. Now, it is time for you to act. The world needs your light. The people around you need the healing, the hope, and the restoration that you carry. You are a vessel of divine power, and now is the time to step into that power and use it to make a difference in the world. This is your moment of commissioning. It's time to take up your mantle and walk in the divine calling that has always been yours. As you step into this new season, know that you are not walking alone. The angels who have been with you throughout your journey are now actively guiding you into the next phase of your divine calling. These two angels are not just protectors, they are your guides, one with the fire of purification and the other with the light of healing and protection. The angel with the fire is here to purify you, to help you shed the old and to prepare you for the work that lies ahead. This fire is not destructive, it is a refining fire that burns away the impurities of your past, the doubts that linger in your heart, and the fears that threaten to hold you back. The fire of purification is necessary for you to step into your divine purpose. It will refine you, strengthen you, and empower you to walk in the fullness of your calling. This angel will help you let go of anything that would weigh you down and prevent you from fully stepping into your divine destiny. The second angel carries the light of healing and protection. This angel will guide you through the process of transformation, ensuring that you are shielded from the darkness and the attacks of the enemy. The light this angel carries will illuminate your path, showing you the way forward and providing the wisdom you need to make decisions that are aligned with God's will. This light is also a healing light, bringing comfort and restoration to your soul as you step into your new purpose. The angel of light will protect you, ensuring that you are safe as you walk in your divine calling, and will bring healing to any wounds that still linger from the past. These two angels are not just bystanders in your journey, they are active participants in your transformation. The angel of fire will purify you, and the angel of light will guide and protect you. Together, they will help you fulfill your divine assignment and walk in the fullness of the purpose God has prepared for you. Their presence is a reminder that you are not alone in this journey. You have been divinely appointed for this task, and heaven is standing beside you every step of the way. As you walk forward in this new chapter, remember that your obedience plays a pivotal role in fulfilling your purpose. Obedience is not just about following rules, it is about aligning your will with God's. It is about trusting Him with every part of your life, surrendering your plans, your desires, and your timing to His perfect will. Every step of obedience brings you closer to the fulfillment of your divine calling. Obedience is the key that unlocks the divine power you need to fulfill your mission. When you say yes to God's plan, you activate the power of heaven in your life. You invite God's grace, strength, and wisdom to flow through you, empowering you to do what you cannot do on your own. As you step forward, don't look back. Trust that God is leading you every step of the way. The path ahead may not always be clear, but you are never walking alone. The angels are with you, the Holy Spirit is guiding you, and God's favor is upon you. Now is the time to embrace your calling, to take action, and to move forward with confidence, knowing that you are walking in divine alignment with heaven's purpose. Now, as you stand on the precipice of this divine moment, I invite you to take a step of faith. Type 777, not as a casual gesture, but as a declaration of your commitment to walk in your divine calling, as a confirmation of your agreement with heaven's purpose. By typing 777, you are affirming that you are ready, that you are willing, and that you are prepared to walk in the fullness of your divine assignment. This simple act is more than just a declaration of faith, it is a covenant agreement between you and heaven. It is a commitment to walk in alignment with God's plan for your life, to trust Him with every step, and to fulfill the purpose He has placed within you. By typing 777, you are saying yes to God's plan, to His will, and to the divine calling that has always been yours. This is not just a symbolic gesture, it is a powerful, spiritual act that releases divine power into your life. With every letter typed, you are declaring that you are stepping into your purpose with faith, that you are ready to carry out your divine assignment, and that you are aligned with heaven's plan for your life. As you make this declaration of faith, know that God's smile is upon you. Heaven is rejoicing in this moment, not because you are perfect, but because you have endured, you have persevered, and you have chosen to step into the fullness of your calling. God's smile is a sign of divine favor, a sign that heaven is pleased with your obedience, and a sign that you are walking in alignment with God's will. The angels are watching in reverence as you step forward in faith. They know that this is the moment you have been preparing for, the moment when you move from simply surviving to truly thriving in your divine purpose. Heaven's smile is not just a symbol of God's approval, it is a sign that you are now walking in divine authority, empowered by heaven's grace, ready to fulfill the purpose that has always been yours. Remember, beloved, this is not the end of your journey, it is the beginning. You have been rescued, transformed, and now commissioned to carry out your divine purpose. You are walking in alignment with heaven's plan, and nothing will stand in the way of the destiny that God has set before you. As you move forward, know that you are not alone. The angels are beside you, the Holy Spirit is within you, and God's favor is upon you. Rise, chosen one. Walk boldly into your divine calling. God's smile is upon you, and heaven is rejoicing as you step into the fullness of your purpose. You are ready. The world is waiting for the light you carry. Step forward with faith, knowing that the victory is yours. The battle is won. The time for transformation has arrived. This is the moment of your commissioning. It is time for you to step forward in faith, knowing that everything you have endured has been a preparation for this divine moment. You are ready. You have been equipped. You have been chosen. Now, it's time to rise and fulfill your purpose with boldness, confidence, and the full backing of heaven. The call has gone out, and now it is time for you to embrace it. This moment is not about waiting for permission, it's about stepping forward with faith, knowing that you are fully equipped to carry out the purpose that God has placed on your life. Heaven has already gone before you, and the angels are standing beside you, ready to guide and protect you as you move forward. The journey ahead will not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. You will face challenges, just as you have in the past, but this time, you will face them with the full authority of heaven's power. You will carry the light of Christ into every dark place, and in doing so, you will not only fulfill your own divine purpose but will bring transformation to the world around you. God has called you for such a time as this. The season of waiting, of preparation, has passed. Now, you are entering into the season of action. It is time to walk boldly in your divine purpose, knowing that you are aligned with heaven's plan. You have been prepared for this moment, and everything you need is already within you. The battle is won. You are no longer trapped in the fight for survival. You are now in the fight to fulfill your divine purpose, equipped with everything you need to succeed. Heaven has crowned you with authority. The angels are rejoicing, and God is smiling upon you, not because you are perfect, but because you persevered. You stayed the course, you endured, and now, the victory is yours. This moment marks the beginning of a new chapter, one in which you no longer battle against the odds but walk confidently in your divine calling. Heaven's smile is upon you, not because of any perfection in you, but because of your persistence, your resilience, and your unwavering faith. God doesn't look at you with judgment, He looks at you with pride. The angels are not standing by, waiting for you to fall short, they are standing in awe of the divine journey that has brought you here. Heaven's smile is not based on your performance, but on your persistence to keep going, even when it felt like the road was never ending. God has seen the depths of your heart. He knows the battles you fought in silence, the nights you spent praying when no one was watching, and the moments when you thought you couldn't continue. And despite it all, you kept moving forward. It is not your perfection that heaven celebrates, it is your willingness to endure, to trust, and to rise again after every fall. That is why heaven is smiling upon you. God is not looking for perfection. He is looking for faithfulness. And in your perseverance, you have shown heaven that you are faithful. You are His chosen one, not because you have never faltered, but because you kept moving, kept trusting, and kept believing in the promises He spoke over your life. Heaven is pleased with you, not because you are flawless, but because you have proven that you are steadfast, that you can be relied upon, and that you can carry the weight of the divine purpose that has been placed upon you. God's smile is not just an expression of His approval, it is the mark of His joy over your journey. It is the confirmation that you are walking in alignment with His plan. The enemy tried to tear you down, but your persistence has turned what was meant to destroy you into the very thing that will propel you forward into your divine calling. This is the moment you have been waiting for. You are no longer the one who was rescued, waiting for deliverance. You are now the one who is commissioned, sent forth to carry out the divine purpose that has always been written for your life. The time has come for you to rise, to stand tall, and to walk confidently in the authority that heaven has bestowed upon you. God has not only rescued you from the struggles of your past, but He has prepared you to fulfill His divine will in the world. You have been equipped with everything you need: strength, faith, wisdom, and a heart that is steadfast in pursuit of His purpose. The trials you've faced have shaped you, refined you, and equipped you to carry out the divine mission that is ahead of you. You are no longer just a survivor, you are a conqueror, ready to walk in the fullness of your divine calling. The world needs what you carry. The purpose that has been placed within you is not for your benefit alone, it is meant to be shared with those around you. Your light has been purified, and now it is time for it to shine. You have been chosen to carry the light of hope, the light of healing, and the light of divine love into a world that desperately needs it. The work ahead is not for the faint of heart, but you are ready. Heaven has prepared you, and the angels are guiding you. With each step of obedience, with each act of faith, you will walk further into your divine destiny. This is your time. This is your moment. The covenant has been made, the divine purpose has been set before you, and now, it is time for you to rise and walk boldly into your calling. You are ready. The world is waiting for the light that you carry. Step forward, for this is the beginning of the greatest chapter of your life. The journey that you have been on, beloved one, is one that has shaped you, molded you, and refined you in ways that perhaps you never thought possible. The struggle, the hardships, the dark moments, these have all led you to this very place, this divine moment, where heaven's victory is now yours to claim. The battle for your destiny is over. The spiritual warfare, the tests, the trials, and the spiritual attacks have been won. The enemy no longer has a hold over your life. The chains that once sought to bind you have been broken, and the obstacles that seemed insurmountable have been cleared. What you might have once perceived as insurmountable battles were actually the very platforms God used to launch you into His divine plan. No longer do you fight just to survive. That season has passed. You are now walking in divine authority and purpose, a victorious warrior who has emerged stronger, wiser, and more empowered. Your struggles, once thought to be your undoing, have become the very source of your strength. Every tear you shed, every sleepless night, every time you thought you could not take another step, they were not wasted. They were preparing you for the victory you now hold in your hands. Obedience also brings transformation. Every act of obedience refines your character, strengthens your faith, and deepens your trust in God. As you step forward in faith, trusting in God's guidance, the angels will be there, helping you navigate the challenges ahead. They will guide you, protect you, and ensure that you are walking in alignment with heaven's will. Obedience also activates divine favor. When you walk in obedience, you align yourself with the divine plan for your life, and that alignment brings God's favor. You will see doors open that were once closed, opportunities arise that you never thought possible, and doors that were once locked will swing wide open. This is the power of obedience. It activates the favor of God, propelling you forward into your divine destiny. Each act of obedience, no matter how small, brings you closer to your purpose. You are stepping into a life of divine alignment, and with each step, you are fulfilling the calling that God has placed upon your life. The angels are standing beside you in reverence, watching as you walk in the path that has been set before you. They know that your obedience will bring about transformation in your life and in the lives of those around you. As you step into your divine calling, know that this is just the beginning. The rescue is over. The trials are behind you. You are no longer just surviving, you are thriving, walking in the fullness of the divine purpose that God has set before you. The angels stand beside you, ready to guide you, to protect you, and to empower you as you fulfill your divine assignment. This is the moment you have been waiting for. You are not the same person who started this journey. You have been transformed, refined, and prepared to carry out the divine mission that has been placed upon your life. You are stepping into the fullness of your calling, and heaven is rejoicing as you walk forward in faith, in obedience, and in the power that has been granted to you.